Greg, after a pressure campaign from mounting numbers of Democrats, donors, and others, Joe Biden dropped out of the 2024 presidential race Sunday afternoon. In a social media post, Joe Biden wrote at 1:46 p.m., "It has been the great honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, really, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." In another post moments later, he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president. During the last week or so, a whopping 36 congressional Democrats had called for Biden to step aside and pass the torch to a younger generation after his dismal debate performance last month against Donald Trump. In his first rally since surviving an assassination attempt, Donald Trump in Michigan on Saturday made it clear he is not on board with Project 2025, which is a Heritage Foundation initiative that aims to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left. However, Democrats have tried to tie the former president to the project. In doing so, have called Trump a threat to democracy.
And I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25. He's involved in Project. And then they read some of the things and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation. And they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
The former president went on to talk about how well the Republican National Convention went last week and how the party has come together. Donald Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, also spoke at the rally. Utah Governor Spencer Cox unexpectedly endorsed Donald Trump on Friday. Previously, Cox criticized Trump, even recently stating he would not vote for Trump or President Joe Biden in November. In the aftermath of the assassination attempt, Cox wrote in a letter to Trump, quote, "You have a chance to do something that people have said is impossible. You have a chance to build a coalition of support that our country has not seen since Ronald Reagan. You and only you can be that kind of leader for us today." Cox added this during a press conference on Friday.
I told him in that letter, I said, you know, if you'll do this, I will do everything I can to help and support you. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can to help and support him.
Cox asserted he is sure he and Trump will still have lots of disagreements. Fewer.
Mike, efforts are now underway to find out more about the Secret Service agents on duty at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. According to the Post-Millennial, America First Legal has filed a Freedom of Information Act request to gain access to documents relating to USS's progress in meeting its staffing targets. But the U.S. Secret Service declined to provide to fulfill the requests. America First Legal posted this, quote, "Biden's Secret Service is delaying the processing of a FOIA we filed following the assassination attempt of President Trump because they claim there is not one, any threat to the life or safety of anyone, two, any urgency to inform the public about government activity." A report revealed that Secret Service officials rejected former President Donald Trump's requests for additional security in the 2 years preceding the recent assassination attempt. Trump had asked for more agents, magnetometers, and snipers at large public events and outdoor venues. Senior officials denied these requests, citing resource limitations. Trump was under the standard level of protection for former presidents and major party presidential candidates when 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks opened fire at his rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday, July 13th. And on Friday, July 19th, the Jupiter, Florida Police Department arrested Michael Wiseman for making written threats on social media against former President Donald Trump, Senator J.D. Vance, and their families. Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle is testifying on Capitol Hill this morning in light of the assassination attempt against Donald Trump 9 days ago in Pennsylvania that left one man dead and 2 others seriously wounded. House Oversight Chair Kentucky Republican James Comer asked Cheadle to answer questions about what went wrong. Pressure has also been mounting for the director to step down.
So the Secret Service did not know that the gunman actually had a weapon before President Trump was allowed to get up on the stage?
To the best of our knowledge and the facts that we have at this point, that is correct.
On Wednesday, it will be FBI Director Christopher Wray's turn on Capitol Hill. He is scheduled to testify to the House Judiciary Committee about the Bureau's investigation into the incident. Greg?
New polls conducted just before Joe Biden bowed out of the 24 presidential race showed Donald Trump leading in battleground states, according to Rasmussen, in a two-way contest between Trump and Biden in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Trump led in all states but Michigan. Pollster Frank Luntz had this evaluation post-Republican National Convention.
The fact is, Trump is leading now, and he's leading in the swing states. And the last week has been very good for his campaign, even if it's been bad for his health. And the last month, Trump has found his sea legs and Joe Biden has come apart.
Right.
So we end up the end of the convention with the Republicans clearly in the lead.
Luntz went on to say Trump's nomination speech sealed the resolve for his supporters. When it comes to former President Donald Trump's pick for vice president, J.D. Vance, Breitbart News reports Rasmussen surveyed 995 likely voters on July 15th and 16th, finding that 51% approve of the former President Trump's choice. The poll surveyed 5,605 likely voters via telephone and online from July 5th through the 12th, the day before the attempted assassination. Joining us now is the founder of wallbuilders.com, Victory News contributor David Barton. David, welcome back to Victory News.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Biden has finally agreed to leave the Democrats' 24 ticket on Sunday, but Axios is now reporting 3 Biden aides said Biden hesitated to drop his reelection campaign in part because he worried that Vice President Harris wasn't up to taking on Trump. Is that the kind of doubt why key leaders like Obama, Pelosi, and Schumer have not endorsed Kamala yet?
I don't think so. I think there was doubts about it, but I don't think that was a big doubt because clearly he endorsed her. And so have the Clintons, and so has Planned Parenthood, and so has a significant number of the Democrat National Committee. So there's a lot of support there, in part because if they have to go to the convention and have a fight and she is not the nominee, then the $240 million that they have in the campaign coffers for the Biden-Harris ticket will be gone. And that's a lot of money for them to lose and give up. So they may not be really happy with her, but at the same time, that's the best shot they have at this point. By Democrat Party rules, they're going to have some type of vote at the convention. So we won't know for sure until after August 21st or maybe the 19th, depends on when their vote is. But nonetheless, I think that there was some doubt, but there wasn't enough doubt to keep him from endorsing her or from many other leading Democrats to endorse her as well.
Always follow the money. Listen to former senior advisor to Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, call for Kamala Harris to address her actions regarding Joe Biden's conduct. Here it is.
And interview after interview for 4 years, she has lied about his mental state. She has a weekly lunch with him. She's at his side. She needs to be hauled in front of Congress immediately.
David, do you think Harris was intentionally hiding information on Biden's declining health and ability to serve?
No more than anybody else would. I think that's human nature. You don't want to go on national TV and say, hey, I think any president, Republican, Democrat, is not up to the task. So I think that is normal human behavior. You would do that with your wife, your husband, your family member, a good friend, anything else. I don't think there's anything unusual there. It is certainly political fodder now with what has happened, but nothing unusual.
All right. So Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, she's appearing right now in the House Oversight Committee. Not a good day for her. What will she face today on Capitol Hill? Do you think it'll lead to her resigning?
I don't think it'll lead to her resigning. There's so much bad news right now for the Biden campaign and for Democrats in general. I don't think they need another one. I think she will tough it out because it's easier to have bad stories about you than to confirm the bad stories by resigning. So I will be very, very surprised if she does that, because that would absolutely demonstrate another failure of the Biden-Harris campaign, if you will, the Biden-Harris ticket. That would be another failure, and they don't want that. So I do not expect she'll resign. She will take a lot of heat, a lot of fire. And I think it will intensify over coming days as more and more information is coming out. Even some of the early reports that came out today don't have all the information. We're still seeing new stuff come to light. So I think it's far from being done, but I don't think she'll resign.
All right, it's the story of the day, so I'm going to ask you one more question on the Biden-Harris chaos. Speaker Johnson and several other Republicans are calling for Biden to resign or to leave office right now. Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina posted this, quote, "If Joe Biden does not have the cognitive ability to seek re-election, he does not have the cognitive ability to serve the remainder of his term. So should Harris invoke the 25th Amendment? Because I don't think he resigned because of cognitive. That wasn't what he said." David, your thought?
I totally agree. Cognitive of what the Republicans are saying, but that's not what they said. He's resigning because of the fact that he's losing in all the polls. He's unable to raise money. And quite frankly, in his resignation statement, he said, "I'm doing this because it's the best thing for my party and my country." He put his party first. So he hasn't acknowledged cognitive disability. That's a Republican claim. They're not going to do that under that condition, that stipulation, because that would then be adding fuel to the fire and seeming to prove the Republicans right. And there's no way they're going to do that. So I do not expect any kind of 25th Amendment type of action on this. I don't think that's going to happen. That's something the Republicans will make press with, but that's not going to happen.
David, that was a great point, and I think that explains why they dislike MAGA. We'll come back to you.